Hello, everybody. This is Ty from Ty Hot Takes coming at you with a GTA 6 slash Rockstar related drama story. Let's get right the fuck into this. This article comes from Dextero, link is in description, and the headline reads, GTA 6 devs fear further delays and losing jobs amid protests at Rockstar over firings. On October 31st, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier reported that Rockstar Games had fired between 30 and 40 employees from their UK and Canadian studios. The Grand Theft Auto devs were accused of union busting by firing workers, but Rockstar itself claims that it was due to gross misconduct surrounding the leaks around Grand Theft Auto 6. Protests erupted outside the Rockstar North studio in Edinburgh and Take-Two studio in London on November 6th. I was dismissed without warning, without evidence, and without a chance to speak for myself, all because I talked with colleagues in a private union chat. We weren't leaking anything or trying to harm the company, one former Rockstar employee said at the protests. These are posted by Ross Greer, the co-leader of the Scottish Greens Party. Very political guy, by the way, which I think is important to know. In case you're not super into the Scottish Green Party politics, maybe you could take this with a pinch of salt. Ross Greer accuses Rockstar Games of sacking dozens of workers for exercising their right to organize a union, reinstate them now, then get around the table and give your staff the pay and conditions they deserve for making you billions. And here's some more pictures from the Edinburgh protest. Haha, union busted. Get it? That's a GTA joke. Yeah, lots of union politics going on here. We have game workers beat bosses, gameworkers.co.uk over there, and something about standing up to racism and refugees welcome, Black Lives Matter, also oppose the far right, which probably means anyone slightly to the right of Bernie Sanders, or I guess in the UK, a more apt comparison would be Jeremy Corbyn. I'm not saying that these more liberal protesters discredits the idea that some workers may have been unfairly treated or unfairly fired, but I don't think this is a good look at all. There's a bunch of unrelated politics. There's nothing to do with workers' rights, nothing to do with fair work conditions or any of that shit, if you ask me. Not to get super duper political, but you came here for Thai hot takes, so this is what you're going to get today. Since then, a verified employee at Rockstar North has offered a little more insight into things at the studio via an anonymous account on the GTA Forums website. Last week, my colleagues who were in the studio were each individually messaged by HR for a short, friendly meeting, under the friendly guise of, "Hey, are you free for a quick chat?" Upon attending this meeting, they were handed an envelope with a short letter stating that their employment had been terminated for gross misconduct regarding posts made in Discord, they said. They failed to provide any evidence when asked, nor was any stated in the letter, and it did not divulge any other information or reasoning, and no other reason. They refused their right to union representation in the disciplinary meeting, which is against UK employment law, and were frog-marched out of the studio with the meeting lasting less than 5 minutes. These colleagues of mine were hard workers who have spent many, many years at Rockstar in critical roles, with colleagues who had been at Rockstar for more than 18 years, and none of them have ever had a disciplinary in that time. They are not easily replaced and will certainly affect us in making our project deadlines. These are very senior artists, animators, QA testers, designers, programmers, and producers, including leads. All super talented people who were proud of their work over multiple Rockstar titles, and all they wanted was the best for Rockstar and their fellow colleagues. The anonymous employee believes it was union busting and nothing else, as the fired team members were predominantly from those who were on the union organizing committees of each UK studio. Those of us who are lucky and remain now work in fear, fearful when talking to each other at the tea prep, fearful that we're next in line and are easily gotten rid of, too scared to go outside the studio and talk to, or even acknowledge our colleagues outside protesting in fear of reprisals. Morale in the studio is at a rock bottom when we should be excited about what's to come over the next year. We are now totally deflated, and our trust and confidence in others is totally shot. The post and protests come on the same day that Rockstar announced further delay to Grand Theft Auto 6's release, pushing it back to November 2026. And I know there are a lot of gamers out there that are probably more concerned about the delay of GTA 6 than they are about the union people and what Rockstar has to say about their side of the story as well. Damn you, Rockstar! I have to wait even longer for this video game that seems to never come out. Why? But in all seriousness, guys, this anonymous Rockstar employee makes a somewhat compelling case for her side of the story in this union busting drama. Maybe it's possible that Rockstar pulled some employees aside and asked them, hey, would you like to have a chat? And then, soon after decided to fire them in a sneaky manner. Maybe it's true that the climate of Rockstar Studios right now is fearful and employees are scared to say anything as the protests are going on outside. However, this is an anonymous employee, so I would take at least a little bit of this with a grain of salt because they are anonymous. So there's only so much that you could get from this. But before we wrap up the video here, let's hear out Rockstar's side of the story, because I think you're being a little bit too biased and tribal if you don't at least hear out both sides of the argument, in my opinion. So in response to the accusations of the firings being a union-busting act, Rockstar parent company Take-Two Interactive swiftly denied such claims, stating that all employees were dismissed for gross misconduct and for no other reason. Now, 1 week later, Rockstar has further expanded on its claim, explaining that employees were caught sharing company information. In a follow-up with Schreier, an anonymous Rockstar spokesperson said the 30 to 40 staff members were fired for leaking company secrets. Now, that's interesting if you ask me. The fact that we have one statement coming from an anonymous, likely union member employee that was fired, we get to hear their side of the story and how they're unhappy with conditions at the company and all that. And we also have an anonymous Rockstar spokesperson that is talking about the leaked company's secrets. Like, wouldn't it be a little bit more professional and give both the former employees and the public a little bit more certainty if Rockstar would just come out and say the stuff rather than getting an anonymous Rockstar spokesperson? I think that's a little odd. But moving on here, exactly what these secrets pertain is anyone's guess. However, Rockstar said that the information was shared on a forum that included non-employees. Last week, we took action against a small number of individuals who were found to be distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum, a violation of our company policies, the spokesperson said. This was in no way related to the people's right to join a union or engage in union activities. And to further back this up a little bit, the article here mentions that, of course, GTA 6 suffered one of the most significant leaks in industry history. When dozens of gameplay leaks were shared online in 2022, the leaker was arrested and placed under an indefinite hospital order. What? What the fuck? This guy got sent to hospital prison until doctors determined he is no longer a threat? Dude, what the fuck is going on in the UK? Okay, well, there were at least court proceedings and a jury involved, but still, that's crazy. This dude's in a hospital prison. But the more important point is that Rockstar suffered, again, one of the most significant leaks in the industry history ever in 2022. With all the leaked GTA 6 gameplay and whatnot, it was crazy. And it does make sense that Rockstar is trying to put their foot down on potential leaks as much as is humanly possible. So the fact that Rockstar is probably leak paranoid does, at least in my opinion, add a decent amount of credibility to Rockstar's side of the story when they make the claim that, hey, we're not fucking around. There was some stuff going on in a private chat, and these employees are bye-bye. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case. I mean, in my opinion, both sides of the story, the Rockstar side and the union side, is a little bit he said, she said on both ends, because I cannot access like these chats that Rockstar is telling me about. You know, no, the public cannot see this stuff, and the public also can't see the manner that these employees were fired. I mean, that anonymous unhappy former employee that we were talking about earlier, they gave their side of the story and said that Rockstar, you know, in a weird covert way decided to unfairly fire their employees after telling them that they were just going to have a chat. Well, how am I supposed to know that that actually happened? There's no video evidence, there's no written evidence, so I just have to take this anonymous employee's word for it. That's not me saying that they're wrong. It's just that you should probably take everything here with a gigantic fucking grain of salt, in my opinion. And from what I've seen on Twitter, it seems like, not that you should take people's opinions seriously on Twitter, but it seems like people's opinions on this are, as usual, are just completely 50-50 split on one side or the other. You have a bunch of Twitter folks are just completely 100% for the union employees, saying, oh, Rockstar fucked them and they're using the leaks as an excuse. And you have another side of the argument that's totally buys into what Rockstar is giving us here with our anonymous spokesperson, by the way. And they totally believe that the former employees here were engaging in leaking and gross behavior, as Rockstar had said. Anyways, guys, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Doesn't matter whether it's for the former 30 to 40 employees. It doesn't matter if you take Rockstar's side. I don't give a fuck. I'm all about hearing everyone and what they've got to say, whether I like it or not. This is the internet. It's a tough place, and I'm used to shit being divisive. So lay it on me in the comments. I fucking dare you. Anyways, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and check out one of my videos up there. I'm sure it'll be a good time. Peace out, guys.